Good morning. So I'd like to give you some details about our reading culture that we've implemented this year and how we plan to improve it and add to that impact for next year. So the first thing that we did was create an annual report and look at the achievements so far and then begin our forward plan. So our reading culture this academic year has really been centred around our library and our dear time. So we could see from our data that we have annual and seasonal reading programs running, and they were starting really well with 84% in engagement and participation. And by April, we had 94% because we'd engaged some of those readers that were reluctant, which shows us that we've added value. Our book recommendations, they went from 4.1 to 5.0 in terms of the satisfaction scores for the book recommendations. We do some lovely videos every so often with our students doing book recommendations. And you could see that our children were motivated by this. Our online reading platform, McGraw-Hill, we had an increase in students using the platform. At very first, it was difficult for us to use the platform, and some children did struggle, but once they saw that other children were also using it, they began to engage too. Our student body had a person who published a book herself. She decided in grade 5 that she would like to understand more about publishing, so she took it upon herself to write her own book and then had it self-published. We ran with this initiative and we helped her to become an author in the library. She had her very own opening and book reading with families engaging in this with her. And she has a section where you can find her book and you can read her book in the library itself. We also have book reflection happening in the library. We had 261 submissions, and this was started with a book reflection from staff, which we displayed in the lobby area at the beginning of the year, and children continued this throughout the year. We also have had an increase in our library home borrowing. You can see the numbers raised and the percentage much higher than we expected. So our library is becoming the heart of our school, which is what our aim was for last year. You can see also the participation has gone up too. Reading culture enhancement, we had many initiatives to add to our library, including the DEAR time, which we spoke about last year. DEAR standing for drop everything and read. This happened in classes. We initially did a full week to launch the initiative, and students engaged in it, and we made a video showing staff as well as students engaging in this, which when we showed at the assembly after that launch week, encouraged many other students who didn't want to participate initially to participate. It became regular, and each week it would be maybe 2 times a week, 3 times if you didn't have an assembly or something else that was going on in the morning. But it would be in that first 15 minutes of the day. And children, teachers and parents that were in the building engaged with this. So it was really quite a whole school initiative. We also linked this to our social emotional learning initiative for top schools. Our aim was to increase the pastoral care and the awareness of the importance of pastoral care among our students, our staff, and our families. And because this theme aligned with so many books in the library, we now have a section dedicated to this area of stories and of understanding your emotions and how to with our values area. We also had a Dear Book, You Made Me Feel letter writing activity, which again enhanced that cell and application of the cell skills and the values with our students within the reading culture. And then finally, we also had the Let Me Hug You through this page. The sharing session featuring a speaker from psychology. So we also linked in all that emotional language, literature, and application for skills and values to not just our reading culture, but to our library and to our whole school initiative. So then, building upon this, we decided that we wanted to continue our Dear Time, but also to add on and enhance it. So library came up with some really lovely ideas about how we can use that fixed time that's protected now and is in our timetables and calendars to build banks of books to share in those classroom libraries. So they're going to create baskets, grade level appropriate books, and we've made the orders so we know that the books that are coming in are appropriate and they're the right grade levels for the readers. And we're going to rotate those books. So over a period of about 6 weeks, your class might have one basket, and then the following 6 weeks, they'll swap the basket with a different class in that grade level, so that over the course of the year, each class has a different basket every 6 weeks. Keeps the engagement level high, but it also will help our students to be exposed to a wider amount of texts. And we want to balance those texts to be Vietnamese and English titles, basically to strengthen the biliteracy that we have in our school, not just focus on one language area. Staff are actively reading alongside the students, also in this protected time, to model the behaviour. Big this year for us to model the behaviours. We want to be modelling not just that reading culture, but also the values and things coming alongside. So this will be really important in terms of when Dear Time happens, watching for staff who are also taking that careful time to model the behaviours and to really read a text. Maybe we'll catch our teachers reading professional books as well at that time. We also want to add a few new ideas, and we've got a couple here that I'm sharing with you. The passport idea is from our Miss Suong, grade level leader in grade 3. And the map is actually from Mr. Min in grade 4. He's our grade 4 level leader. The idea is that when students complete a reflection, that can be a written reflection, maybe a drawing if they're not quite writing well yet, or a spoken one if they want to record their voice or record a video talking about it. Once they've done their reflection, they earn a stamp in their personal reading passport. And the idea is that they build a number of stamps in their passport, so they're personally tracking, and we will allow some milestone rewards, starting at 5 and going up, depending on how many they read. And then the map part connects to this because we're going to place a marker on the global reading map to track the genres and the levels of the readers. Now, quite often stories are from around the world, or the author might be from a different country, or there might be a character or a setting that is set in another country. And we can mark those on the map. Those maps are also going to be visible so that when you visit other classrooms, you'll be able to see the widening map and the busyness of the reading culture in that classroom. This turns independent reading into a shared and almost gamified global adventure. It's a really lovely idea for both of our grade level leaders there. So the supporting initiatives for these things, which were things that most of our teachers and our grade level leaders also agreed would really help, was to build a buddy system, have upper grades paired with lower grades for shared reading. So it also means that they're moving around school, keeping them active as well as reading time. Having reading ambassadors, student leaders, not just managing the corners in the classroom, because you'd have to have a couple of classroom leaders and leading those baskets and organisation of that area, but also ambassadors who can recommend books in their classroom or to other classes when they go for their buddies, or to the library, or if they want to, just refer them to home, because we also want the families involved. We're going to engage in a monthly family reading challenge and start the logging at home as well, shared minutes at home, so that we can see what's the impact of reading at home and how much more engaged they are with their reading homework, because reading homework really should be taking a book home and reading it. So looking ahead, we've got our 2026 targets for the passports, the marathons that we want to engage our families in, and the reflections that we want our students to do. We think that August, September will be when we launch our passports, start the map, and engage in the DEAR time, phase 2, of course, because phase 1 we've done this year with actually starting it. In October to March, we want the buddies to be up and running, the milestones starting to appear in those passports, and the family challenge. We want the first one done in the first semester if we can. And then April to May, we'll start to look at how we're achieving these things, and begin our year-end reading festival and the awards that are engaging in with that. And then start to look at how well did our second year on the reading culture engage, and then see what ideas we can build on for next year. The idea there is that every stamp, every country, every page, it's our culture and it's our reading culture. So we're going to go on one reading journey together. I hope that some of these will help you in your journey with your reading cultures. Feel free to reach out to any member of the staff at Central Park, because they're happy to share. Thank you.